So we've got this Aprilia Tuono V4 come in for some electrical diagnostic work. The fuel sender unit isn't working, so I'll take you through what I did to test it and find out the fault a non-intrusive way without having to sort of take the fuel sender unit out and stuff like that. So I've got quite a lot of test equipment out. I've got the Power Probe ECT 3000 short and open circuit tester, which is a brilliant bit of kit. I don't really use it enough, but I'm starting to get more into the electrical diagnostic side, and it is, like I say, very, very handy for finding sort of shorted wires and open wires. I've also got the Power Probe DM300 Auto with my back probes, obviously test leads and clamps and stuff. So yeah, what the bike is actually doing, turn the dash on. You can see that the fuel sender unit is just flashing. I plugged it into the Texo Diagnostics to see if that showed up anything on the faults, but no fault code showed up on that. So I thought I'd start testing the electrical side of things to figure out whether it was a wiring problem or whether it's a sensor problem. So the first thing I did was unplug the sensor. Did all this with the ignition off. I made these two little probes that I've insulated so that I can check the resistance or the ohms reading. So plug them into there. Turn the multimeter on. You want to have it on ohms resistance. Swap the leads over, so take the back probes out. Put the crocodile clips on. Clamp across the wires. And take a look at the reading. And there's, yeah, as you can see, nothing showing. You can also put it on the continuity test, see if that brings up anything, but again, nothing at all. So that's the multimeter done with. So I'll bring you around this side of the bike. Connect up the ECT 3000 to the bike. So this, we're going to use a crocodile clip, and this basically sends an electrical pulse down the wire, which you use this handheld device to be able to check. So turn it on. So you find your sensor wire. So when you hold it by the wire, you can turn up sensitivity, so it'll work from a further distance, but working on quite close wires. So we want to try and trace it. So I wasn't sure because the wiring for this sensor was quite trapped in behind this fuel tank. So I thought there might have been a break in the wire. But I traced it all the way up under here, and it goes all the way up to the sensor. So that's that wire checked. So I thought I'd check the other wire as well. So you can check a signal all the way down through. Following the wire. and it goes a bit harder to get under there. You can hear it goes all the way up to the sensor underneath. So the ECT 3000 is saying basically there's continuity all the way from the end of there to the connector that goes into the fuel pump. So that says to me that the continuity of the wire is okay. To double check it, you can do a continuity test. So turn the meter on again. Make sure it's working. So clamp one end of the wire. So I've got this wire probe here. This is from my snap-on kit. I'll make sure you get it in the middle of the wire. It only creates a very small hole, but you need to seal it up after. So that's continuity on that wire. That's as close to the sensor as I can get without taking the fuel tank off, because like I said, I just wanted to try and do a quick diagnostic on checking to see what it was. So clamp it on the other wire, plug the other end into it. This is a handy thing having 4mm banana jacks, is it's all interchangeable, so that's fine. So that's that test done. So that basically says that the singular wires going up to the sensor are absolutely fine. So that means it's highly likely that it is the actual sensor that is at fault. But just to prove my findings, I found out the resistance reading from having a look online, doing a bit of digging of what the resistance reading should be on a good sensor. So I've got my decade resistance box, and it's meant to read from 20 to 185 ohms when it's full. So we can clamp the resistance box on. So we get the decade box. Back probe into the wires. Like I say, these terminals are nice. It's a nice fit. It's not going to damage the connector at all. So we'll turn the ignition on. So you can see at the moment, it's on 1 bar. And that's on 20 ohms resistance. So if we turn it up to 70. See, there we go. It's just gone up a bar. And then we'll turn it up to 180 ohms on the decade box. And have a look at that. There you go, look, it's gone up again. So that is a good tell. So that's almost full at 190 ohms resistance. So if we go back, turn that back down to 20, and you'll see the bars drop. There you go. Takes a bit of time, another bar dropped. So with the Power Pro multimeter and ECT 3000, I was able to diagnose the issue unobtrusive without having to take much stuff off at all. No need to drain the tank, no need to take the fuel sender unit out to check, as I've checked it and backed up the findings with using the decade box to feed a resistance value into the bike circuit, and the fuel gauge is working. So that eliminates a wiring problem, and it is definitely the fuel sender unit. So I can get a fuel sender unit on order, replace it, and it's cut down on diagnostic time, and it's 100% fact that I found the fault. So yeah, thanks for watching.